In today's video, we're going to learn the parts of the viola, how to get into playing position, and how to pluck. Stay tuned! Welcome to the studio. My name is Cassie and I'm a professional violist and teaching artist. My hope is that these videos will serve as a guide whether you're an absolute beginner or a little bit more advanced. So let's get on with the lesson. So we're going to go over the parts of the instrument first, and it's really important to know these so that as we proceed through our lessons, we have a common language. So we're going to start with the top. This is the scroll, and my scroll is kind of cool. I don't know if you can see, but it's carved out. It makes it a little bit lighter. Underneath the scroll is the peg box, where our tuning pegs are housed, and there's 4 tuning pegs, 1 for each of our strings. Underneath the peg box is the fingerboard. That's the long black piece that you've got. And that's attached to the neck, which is the wooden part on the back. Underneath that, we've got the bridge. Kind of looks like a little bridge. And on either side of the bridge, we have the sound holes that are in the shape of an F, so we call them the F holes. Attached to that is the tailpiece. Kind of looks like an animal's tail. And on the tailpiece, you'll find 4 fine tuners, and we are going to use those to tune our instrument in a later lesson. Over the tailpiece is the chin rest, and that's where our chin is going to rest on the instrument. On this end, we've got the button, and over the button is the tail gut, and the tail gut is what holds the tailpiece in place. On the sides of the instrument are the ribs, and then we've got the back of the instrument and my shoulder rest. I do highly recommend using a shoulder rest. It makes going into playing position a lot more comfortable. If you're in need of a shoulder rest, I have a few recommendations linked below, so be sure to check those out. Alright, now that we know the parts of the instrument, let's talk about getting into playing position. So we're going to take our left hand, and I'm going to drape it over the shoulder onto the strings. Make sure that your thumb is on the back. That's going to help support that when we go into playing position. I'm going to take my right elbow and stick the chin rest underneath my right elbow. This is rest position. And to go from rest position to playing position, we're going to hold the instrument out in front of us, turn the scroll towards the floor, and then aim it towards your left shoulder. You should be able to drop your hand and wave if your instrument is well balanced. There are a few touch points, so the bottom of the instrument where the ribs are should touch and be flush against your neck, and your shoulder rest, which hopefully you have or you'll get, is going to rest right on your shoulder on your collarbone. So let's find rest position again. We're going to go out in front of us, scroll upside down onto your left shoulder for playing position. And I'm making sure that the ribs are touching my neck and that the shoulder rest is supporting on my shoulder. There are a few more things to consider. When you go to playing position, you want to make sure that your head is straight up and down. You don't want to be looking to the right or the left and contorting your neck. That's going to cause pain, so we don't want to do that. So head straight up and down, and then the other thing to watch out for is that your shoulder doesn't start squeezing up. If your shoulder rest has adjustable feet or legs, you want to make sure that that is sized correctly for your proportions. So back to playing position. My hand is resting on the shoulder just to help me support. And now we're going to learn how to pluck. So I'm going to take my right hand, I'm going to make a backwards L with that, and I'm going to plant my thumb at the end of the fingerboard. Not where my other hand is, but at the end of the fingerboard. And you want to be sure to be on the side of the fingerboard, not the edge because it's kind of pointy, so you want the side. So extend your pointer finger up, and we're going to pluck our highest string, which is the A string. Let's do that 3 times. So to pluck, I'm taking the pad of my finger and drawing it closer to my thumb. You don't need to pull very hard, it's gentle. The next lowest string is our D string, so rest your pointer finger on that, make sure it's on the pad of your finger, and we're going to gently pull that towards us 3 times. Find your next lowest string, which is G, and let's do that one 3 times. If you find that all of a sudden you're getting a really loud sound, it's probably because you're pulling too hard, so nice and gentle. Lowest string is C. Let's go on to that one. Back back to rest position, and we're going to try that whole process again. So rest position, instrument out in front of you, scroll to the floor, and then rest it on your left shoulder with the ribs flush with your neck. Make sure that your head is aligned up and down, and that you can wave or drop your arm when you're in playing position. Watch out for that shoulder squeeze too. All right, let's go back to our highest string, A, and I'm going to teach you a little song that I teach my beginners to learn. It's like a mnemonic device. So I'm going to say it first and then we'll do it together. So for the A string, it's ants digging in the dirt, going underground, all the way to Canada. So let's try that together. Find your rest position, go back to playing position, get your plucker ready, so that's thumb and pointer finger, end of the fingerboard, rest it on the A string, and it's really helpful to look at the strings just to make sure you're on the correct one. So A string, let's say the song together. Ready? Go. Ants digging in the dirt, going underground, all the way to Canada. So now that we know all the basic parts of the instrument, we know how to find playing position and plucking position, your job is to practice those things and get really comfortable with them before moving on to our next lesson. Speaking of our next lesson, we're going to learn what the left hand should do when it goes on the strings. So we have our open strings, A, D, G, and C, and when I put my fingers down on the fingerboard and gently depress the string, I can make additional notes. So stay tuned for that video. Thank you so much for joining me. See you next time.